Don't adjust that dial. Yeah, I know what you're thinking. This looks a bit strange. What's happening? Why is George laid prostate in some 90s kid's bedroom? Well, the reason for that is we're launching, or attempting to launch, a spin-off of the main show. It's a retro show that we're quite proud to announce. It's called Flashback. This is a pilot episode that we're releasing as episode 266, I believe. You won't normally find it here in the future, but we thought we'd try it within our main rotation to see what you think. It's basically a flashback show. This episode is going to be set in June 1992, and we're going to present the episode as if we are in June 1992, or at least do our best. If this takes off, you'll be able to find Flashback as a separate channel, as a UCP production going forward. We thank you for your patience, and let's introduce you to the pilot.
Welcome to UCP Productions brings you Flashback. Yep, we are, as George said, we're in 1992, and as me, RGT, joined by the very youthful George from 1992, still with a bit of stubble there, but...
Yeah, I was going to say, testosterone took a victim in 1992 with me, didn't it? Slapped me with a beard, a deep voice.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
You look like the kid who's been put back a few years.
I think the idea of it is that we're adults that have come maybe back in time, not we're because. Hello, RGT, how are you? What
is that what you sounded like?
Yeah, penis.
Dear, that's a great start. This ain't going to be PG either.
It is. This is that. I don't think any of that was illegal. Let's get into it.
Yeah, so basically this is going to be our standard show, but set in a random time each time we record it. So as we say, this is June 1992. We will be doing various ones hopefully from all different eras. We will be talking about what we've been playing in this era. We'll be talking about what the new releases are, a bit of news, what the latest games are that we're hoping to play. And we'll hopefully wrap it all in the UCP package, but just with that little flashback element, hence why it's called Flashback. So I think we'll have to start, George, with what have you been playing?
Well. I was having a moment about the name we've just workshopped. Is that good enough? Yeah, it is. So I have been playing California games. Now, I know everyone's hyping on about playing that on MagiDrive. I'm playing it on Master System. So I'm quite keen to see how that... There's no need for that face. Some of us...
Well, you know.
Mumsy bought me it, so she got me a new game. Master System,
that was my old Master System, yeah. Yeah, because I upgraded to MagiDrive 16-bit power.
Oh, right, okay. That's the law, is it? Because I was just about to say how Mumsy got me the Master System convertible. That's totally cool. So I'm using your old Master System.
Yeah.
California games, to me, is one of the standout games on there. I think it looks great. It's a great push of the system. Obviously, on the 16-bit consoles, it looks a lot better. But California games, to me, partly nostalgia, although I don't know how I have nostalgia for a machine I played a week ago, but partly nostalgia for California games on the Master System. It just fits right to me. How are you finding California games on the beautiful 16-bit system over there?
Yeah, I'm loving it. Graphics are really good. Definitely the step up from 8-bit, no offence. Although it plays really well on the Master System. It's a very good version on there, I think, for the 8-bit systems. I've always been a bit more of a fan of the Master System with a few more colours than the NES, or Nintendo Entertainment System, as some call it. But yeah, really loving it. Really love the surf, and that's the one for me. Took me a while to master.
Is it?
Yeah, it took me a while to get. Once I worked out how to do the surfing, absolutely love the surfing. Some of the other ones I find pretty. The skateboard on a half pipe. Oh, I struggle with that. You have to almost pump your way in. Steady retro show. Yeah, you have to pump your way in to get the height and to get the angle, to get the tricks. But
Should just
yeah.
cut to a picture of me sweating profusely.
Hacky sack is quite good though. I quite like that. That's
Oh, is
all
that what
about
it's
your
called?
timing.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't say the name because I was a bit nervous. That was. I just
Yeah.
called it that.
Yeah, hacky sack. So
That's my favourite.
that's good because if you get the timing right, and once you learn that you get the perfect timing, that's good fun. Do
Yeah,
your little spins and stuff.
Yeah, that's to me. That's the best. That's my favourite.
Yeah, but yeah, really enjoying it. I think it's brilliant, and you can also think of it as having almost sort of 5 or 6 games in one, which is really good.
Yeah.
Good to play with friends and try and master each discipline.
One thing that I've always took away from it is that I don't know why, it's not directly related, but I always used to get Paperboy vibes from the bike sections.
Yeah, definitely. They are tricky though as well, aren't they? The BMX, that is tricky, but I can see where you come from with Paperboy. Yeah, very, very similar. Or even like sometimes
when you finish your Paperboy delivery, you had to successfully navigate crossing the road, and then you entered like a building site.
Yeah,
it was a BMX skate park. God knows, right? But that always made me feel very similar vibes to the BMX and the bike sections.
It's almost like Paperboy Cross Excite Bike.
Yeah, if you want to talk in the breeding methodology, yeah. What a fine specimen.
But what else have you been playing, George?
Super Smash TV on the SNES. I gave it all tears on the way in because I didn't have a 16-bit Sega, but got a 16-bit Nintendo. And may I say, Super Smash TV specifically looks great on there. Colours, the enemies, the layout. I just think it really pops on that system, and I think it looks great. I can't speak highly enough of it. I've always enjoyed the game. To get the Super version on the Super Nintendo is a nice perk. I think it's nice. Obviously, if you own it on another system, say you're playing it on home computer, Amiga, something like that, do you need it? Not really. But if you're a console-only player and this is your first time to get on a bit of Smash TV, I would recommend it.
So that's that sort of isometric sort of shooter. Is it room shooter where you clear rooms?
It's a room shoot. It's top down.
Yeah.
Maybe has it got a tilt of isometric? It's hard to say, really. Possibly a 5% tilt on it, but yeah, you come in, you fight it out. I mean, it's proper of the 90s era, isn't it? I always think it's got like Running Man elements to it, which is what appealed to me.
That's very true. Yeah.
I'm playing Running Man. I'm a proper grown up.
Yeah, no, that's a good comparison. That I never thought of that.
You play for the prizes, you aim to get through to the end to, I do believe, just live. So yeah, I really like Super Smash TV. It's waves. It's interesting. Obviously, you get different weapons and stuff. I just think that it's just a really nice game for this era. A little bit of co-op play. It's fun, it's throwaway, but there's also an element of sort of competitiveness there where you're trying to get as far as you can. Thoroughly recommend everyone give it a go.
Nice, sounds good. Yeah.
What about you? What else have you been playing?
My old favourite, released last year, 91, Streets of Rage. Can't get enough of that. Love the soundtrack. Love playing 2-player with my mate. Brilliant. That's never out of the MagiDrive, I don't think. It's such a good game. Put so many hours into that now, but it's just that. That's just that setting, that movie vibe, the story, soundtrack. It's just so addictive, that game. I never get bored of it. Normally, you play a lot of these beat 'em ups. You play one playthrough of it, and you're sort of done and dusted. But this, you can just keep playing. It's really good. But yeah, that's great to play with friends. Also, Sonic. I'm trying to complete Sonic. Last year's banger from Sega. I just can't get to the end. It's just.
Are you excited about the rumored sequel they've got coming down the pipe?
Yeah, I am, because I've heard there's going to be a new little action you can do in that. So apparently,
spin.
Yeah, you can sit and spin. And I don't mean George sit and spin. No, I mean you can actually crouch down and spin for a lot of boost, which will be, if they do that, it's going to be top draw.
I'm confused what a George sit and spin looks like, but
I'm sure people could use their imagination.
Before we launch into the news, I just want to say that obviously I'm completely and deeply wrapped in the. I don't imagine in the future I'm going to be a heavy sim guy. I don't imagine I'm going to be playing lots of sims. But right now I've been playing a lot of Microsoft Microprose F-19 Stealth Fighter. Can't get enough of that. Super realistic, great graphics. Probably the most realistic graphics I have ever seen.
3D as well, looks so
3D
good.
looks incredible. That's one thing.
It's proper bigger boys game.
The home computers have got the bigger boys games. The home computers have got these games that are 3D rendered, all that sort of good stuff. I'm also playing. Obviously, we're all very excited about how well Big Nigel Red 5 Nigel Mansell's doing in the F1 this year, and we're all very excited to see him next month in Silverstone. But I'm very much enjoying Microprose's F1 Grand Prix. Jeff Crammond. I can't speak. Admittedly, I'm playing it on Sorry ST, so you could argue that the lesser machine.
Still looks good though. I mean, I play it on Amiga. Me and my friend do 2-player, and then you take in turns, and it drives the car for you for a certain amount of time.
That's one element I love of it.
Oh, it's so good. It really makes you feel like you're an F1 driver.
I don't think split screen. If they could have pulled it off, I don't know the reason for not implementing it, but I don't think I'd have liked it as much.
No, there'd been a lot going on. It was a lot going on there. So I think that the way they do that is good because you don't feel like you've lost out for the computer driving on your behalf.
Well, the thing is, in the time when you're not driving, you're literally egging your mate on.
Exactly.
Because we play as teammates. So I'm like, oh, come on, mate, do it. And then, he overtakes the AI version of you, and you're like, oh, all right, mate, simmer down.
Yeah. Yeah, cheat.
But, you're sat rooting for them because that's your only medium of escape at that point. So then, obviously, when it switches, they're rooting for you. They're keeping right on the track and, trying to offer suggestions to get better lines and things. So you're kind of helping each other. It's a more collaborative way of playing than competitive, which I'll always be a fan of.
Yeah, especially when you're on the same team and your teammates are so good. And, judge your pit stops and bits. Really good. Great game.
I've got a Marshall Cavendish partwork called Quest that me and Mumsy collect in the corner of the room. And my friend Terry Blow comes round and we play this F1 Grand Prix. And we came up with a team. So we came up with a team. And he's a bit of a motoring nerd. And he said, "Oh, why don't we launch as Bucati? They're like an old team. They could make a comeback." I was like, "Oh, wow, Terry, that's great." But he said, "Oh, but we need a sponsor." And he span round in his chair and he laid eyes on my Marshall Cavendish partwork Quest and went, "What about Bugatti Quest?" And I've never forgotten that name. I was like, "Mate, that's amazing." And now
I want a T-shirt of it.
Oh, mate, if someone made me a T-shirt of Bugatti Quest and it was like 1992 F1 team wear, dude, I think I'll probably be one of the happiest men on earth.
Occasionally you'd have someone come up to you and say, "What's Bugatti Quest?" Right, let me run this past you. Have you ever had an Atari ST?
Or an Amiga? I'm clutching the straws here.
Please
Maybe
say you
a
have.
PC, 486, 286, that kind of thing.
If they turn around and walk away, then obviously they're not that interested.
No, exactly. So me and Terry have been doing a lot of that, and in between as a break, I've got this kind of yellow and green plastic ball with holes in it. Now, what you do is you fill a water balloon and you put it in the middle and you set this timer on the top. When the timer runs out, it fires a pin into the balloon and you get wet, bro.
No way.
Yeah, serious. Can't remember what it was called, something like Splash Attack or something like that. So you put the water balloon in. And obviously, you're on your dry clothes as well. And Mumsy's like, "Don't mess about too much out there." And you're like, "Oh,
and got to be careful your scale electrics as well because you don't want to get that wet. Especially with your RS500 Cosworths. Touring car pack.
I don't want to be boring here, RGT, but wet. If there's a chance of anyone getting wet, it doesn't happen in the bedroom. It happens outside.
Okay. Mumsy don't let you play it indoors then.
Definitely don't want no squirting or wet action inside. All that has to go out happen on the back grass. Good lad. So you throw this between you and you can hear it's sort of ticking down and you're like, "Oh, no, I'll throw it." And he's like, "No, I'm going to hang on to it for a bit." "Now you have it." And he's like, "Oh, I'm going to do that as well."
Ticking time bomb.
Literally. And then boom, it goes off and you get covered in all this water. Yeah, it's Yeah, I don't know what else you've been doing outside of video games, but mainly me and Terry in the months of June have just been finding the time to F1 Grand Prix and then go outside and throw a water balloon in a timed cage at each other.
Well, in between sort of rounds of Kirby's outside, I've been, like I say, mostly on the Scale Electrics because, as I said, we've got the RS500 Sierra touring car pack, which is got your Lambert's. Is it Lambert's? I can't remember the name of the beer now.
Labatt's.
Labatt's, that's it. Labatt's beer sponsored car on there. They are hard to control on the bends, especially on the figure eight track. But if you can nurse it around the corners, that's great fun. Absolutely loving that with my mates playing on the old Scale Electric. See who's the champ is. But like I say, Mumsy wants us to go outside quite a lot, so it's normally rounds of Kirby's out on the street. But Rain and Kirby champ at the moment, 4-0. So
awesome. Should we hit the news?
Yes, we've scoured the very darkest regions of the game and magazines to bring you this week's news. First up, MagiDrive or illegal drive.
What's all this?
Well, yeah, this is getting tasty, this. You mustn't tell anyone about the latest rumour, but there's stirrings of a new piece of hardware for all you MegaDrive owners. Now, whether this hardware is technically legal to use is another thing. As the title would suggest, it's called the MagiDrive, and to cut a long story short, it basically allows you to save your software onto floppy drive and then reboot. What's the reason for this, I hear you ask? Well, as far as we can work out here at the UCP Flashback Towers, it's simple. Piracy. And seeing how hurtful piracy on floppy disks are on the Amiga, we can only see this as a bad thing. Don't be tempted, gamers. If we want the quality of our cartridges to increase, then don't encourage this at all. Remember, just say no.
You say, now, this is interesting, because this MagiDrive plugs in the top of the Mega Drive where the cartridge would go, right? And then
That's
you
right,
put the cartridge in the MagiDrive, and you stick a slew of 3.5 floppies in this thing, because it might take more than one 3.5 floppy.
Yeah.
So I don't quite know how it kind of bridges between the games and where the bespoke loader software goes, insert this to. I don't quite know how that works. I imagine that being a bit messy, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah, especially when it's just as one ROM on the cartridge. But there was rumours there was a piracy person on the Amiga had made a ROM to run Mega Drive games on the Amiga. So whether this was part of that, I do not know. Whether you'd be able to, but like you say, you'd only get halfway through Sonic Level 2, and you have to put another disc in.
Yeah, that doesn't feel right to me. Maybe you have to put the discs in as it puts the ROM into the Mega Drive or onto the MagiDrive flash memory ROM. Maybe you have to, now this 2, so it stops, then continues to write this 2 to the ROM, and then when the ROM is loaded, it will then push into the Mega Drive itself like a normal one. I'm imagining that's how it works, right? And that's okay. But what's wrong, RGT, with just making copies of the games you already own?
Why would you want to make copies of your games?
What if one got damaged? What if, let's say, Mumsy invited Cousin Ian round and he was in one of his more destructive temperaments?
Oh, God, he does lose it, doesn't he? When he's...
And, Anti's saying, he's okay, just give him space. But in his last sort of threshing, his legs just gone out and he didn't get the squash he wanted. So his legs just lashed out blindly and he's literally kicked the corner of your game stack down and your whole game library's collapsed like an avalanche. Even that crappy Lego model that you made last week that you thought looked really good, but I hate to tell you, it looks terrible. It collapsed down on the floor, and Sonic 2 split asunder, like the Ten Commandments. And you're thinking to yourself, damn it, I wish I'd made a copy of that with the MagiDrive. That's
true, but the problem is with copies, especially when it comes to floppy disk, people will abuse it, won't they? If you just say, just make copies of your own games, people aren't going to, are they? Before you know it, they're swapping copies of Sonic on the Amiga and discs in the playground.
Yeah, I think we need to keep our eyes on this to see how it develops. Obviously,
Sega are going to shut this down, surely, aren't they?
Sega have said no, and we've reached out to MagiDrive by the medium of fax. But we've heard nothing back, so we take that as a no comment at the moment. So possibly does hint at shades of darker connotations, I would say. Next bit of news, RGT. Seeing as I'm the SNES king round here.
Mm-hmm.
SNES Dr. Franking coming in November 1992. Better than Mumsy, anyway. We have to hold our hands up and say a big well done to the guys over at Elite. Not only did they develop the awesome Dr. Franken on Game Boy, which, if you don't know, is one of RGT's favourites of all time. First time he's mentioned it, but definitely in his top 10 games of all time. But they could have copied the game straight over to the Super Nintendo, but they haven't. Now it's an even bigger scenario. Frankie's still searching for the love of his life, Bitsy, but this time due to the failings of the Transylvanian Postal Service, she's been scattered to the four corners of the earth. So along with the colours and awesome graphical power of the Super Nintendo, we're sure this is going to be nothing short of a hit. Now, obviously, you compiled the news this week, and you're a self-confessed Dr. Franking nut.
Very underrated game on the Game Boy. Brilliant little platformer. Really good. Looks.
Are you going to get
graphics.
this in November? Because what if like Sonic 2 hits at that time?
Well, I've took on an extra paper round, so I'm trying to save. For double games at the moment, especially
what I'm struggling with this flashback image is you, grown-ass man, on a kid's BMX burner outside the paper shop with all the other kids.
I actually had a Rally Striker, but there we go.
On your Rally Striker, full-grown man. So this bike looks like one of those little BMX trick bikes you could get in the later 90s.
Yeah, I have outgrown it, I will admit.
You've got this big orange backpack on, and there's a load of like 12-year-olds round looking at you going like, all right, mister. You're smoking pack of Lamberts.
Just a little puff. Anyway.
Why did you bring him in here? This is the flashback show.
Yes, sorry. Yeah, so anyway, I've seen screenshots of this, of their early development of this. It looks really good. I mean, especially with the Super Game Boy player, I mean, most people would have thought you could just plug that in and play your Game Boy games on there, but they've completely rebuilt the game up, similar levels, but it's just the graphics look so good. I think there's added bits in as well. Sounds really good. We all know what the Super Nintendo, I mean, that's a powerhouse, isn't it, really, when it comes to these platformers and that. So really looking forward to it. If you haven't played Dr. Franken on your Game Boy, definitely recommend it. And definitely check out your local news agents for gaming magazines and check these screenshots out, because this game looks really good. If you played you played Dr. Franken on Game Boy, George?
Played it on Game Boy, but this has completely blindsided me. I didn't know anything about this. So I'm very interested to see some footage of it. Now, I do believe I might have been flicking through a copy of Total. It's a Super Nintendo magazine, and I think I saw some small print images of this, and I was pretty impressed. I have to say, like you say, they've taken a Game Boy game and they've really given it that 16-bit magic. So, I'm quite excited.
Yeah, definitely. So watch your space on that, and we'll see when it come out if all the hope is worth it. But I think it will be. Elite are pretty good at this sort of thing, and I don't think they'll put a misstep here. But next up we have Stand and Delivered. If your games room is anything like ours here at the UCP, then this next product is going to be right up your street. With the ever-growing list of MagiDrive accessories, we have this very sleek-looking MagiDrive accessory stand made from classy tubular steel. It has plenty of room for not only your beloved MagiDrive, but also your controllers, arcade stick and games. This is a very sturdy unit that oozes quality and also includes these nifty little hooks to either keep those troublesome cables out of the way from either your mum tripping over them and bringing you your tea, or your cat getting tangled up in a mad fit moment. It's that sturdy, you could even use it as a stool. This brilliant accessory called the Mega Stand is available from KMA Engineering and retails for $59.95, and we think it's worth every penny. Well, what do you think of this then, George? I think I need this in my life, especially in my bedroom. That's going to be ideal.
I was just trying to get the inside track on KMA Engineering just to see if they had done any other products. Couldn't find any. So the Mega Stand is absolutely the sort of thing that we're crying out for.
I just had my Mega Drive on the floor with the leads going across. The amount of time
I
Mumsy's
got
brought
mine.
my Vimto in and kicked the leads out. You're now on the last level of Sonic, and I've got to start all over again.
I don't have mine on the floor. I've always been a bit more respectful, but there's something uncool about it sitting on top of an heirloom that's sort of come down in your family for the last 2 or 3 generations. I look at, although saying that, my bedroom looks pretty fire, doesn't it? But
Yeah, I was going to say I don't know if you need one, to be honest.
no, I don't know if I do. But let's imagine I've just stuck a poster on my wall out of Total Non-Stop Gaming, and I'm sat in front of that. And I dream of a stand where it's like a hi-fi solution area, where it's this kind of angular thing that suits the angle of the Mega Drive, so I can have this sort of bespoke gaming area, suck up my controllers, cable management, the whole thing. I'm very excited for this, and I think I can see this taking off. I can see this being in every kid's bedroom. I think in like 40, 50 years' time, KMA Engineering are going to be a big name. If gaming keeps growing the way we do, so for every Mega Drive and Super Nintendo that gets sold, you're selling a KMA Engineering Mega Stand. I mean, what's to stop them being the biggest company in the world in the next 10 years?
Well, exactly. I mean, especially with all this rumours of this virtual reality they're talking about. Well, if you get that fired up and you had a virtual reality KMA accessory stand as well, had one for your Super Nintendo, one for your Mega Drive, one for your virtual reality. I mean, that is going to be awesome. Your bedroom's going to be like an arcade.
Is it? Is the Mega Stand adaptable? Let's say if Sega, bring over the CD add-on to the UK, and then working on that rumoured Neptune thing, which could be called something else, possibly 32X. We don't know. That's going to massively change the dimensions of the magic of the Mega Drive. Is it going to fit in the Mega Stand? I keep wanting to call it the Magic Stand, but
yeah, well, I think the top of it looks pretty good, and it's quite wider than the actual Mega Drive itself. So I think with especially if you're a Mega Drive owner with the Mark One CD add-on, I think there's plenty of room on there for it. Especially as they've added in, like room for your arcade stick and stuff. I mean, that is amazing. Not everyone has an arcade stick. I'm still saving for mine, but I'd love one.
Let's say that I can't afford the $59.95 for the Mega Stand from K&A Engineering.
Mm-hmm.
What's to stop me going out and getting a 3-tiered vegetable shelf rack from Argos, spraying it black in my back garden and using that in my room?
You sound like you've already done that.
It looks very similar to the KMA stand.
Yeah. Your mum just comes back.
Official.
Your mum comes back and finds the vegetables just piled on the floor. Where's the veggie rack gone? No, it's a Mega Stand now, Mum.
Well, come at me. If anyone wants one of my Mega Stands, you know where I'm at.
Yeah. That's JN Designs.
You'll love it. In all seriousness, no, check out the Mega Stand. No doubt it's only available through mail order sign-off in the back of some obscure gaming magazine.
And being tubular steel, expect about £30 P&P, but...
KM Engineering sound like a heavy-duty engineering company whose dad's sort of seen his son on the Mega Drive and made this sort of pre-Dreadnought era steel. You see, when my dad makes things out of metal, they weigh probably 40 times more than they need to.
Yeah, you order a KMA Designs Mega Stand. They bring it on an Arctic, and you can only have it downstairs because upstairs is going to restrict the usage of the joists.
But Mumsy and Dadsy have got a bloody aqua prop in the middle of the lounge, like it's a bloody stripper pole for Mumsy.
Yeah, I'm only going to be there till I get the new RSJ in, son.
Mumsy's like, I don't know, I like it. Daddy's like, well, Daddy, I'm getting to quite like it too.
Well, anyway, what's next, George?
Up next in the news, a new lease of life. If buying batteries for your handheld of choice has started to destroy your paper round money, and we know RGT's verging on a lawsuit by entertaining the idea of a paper round, or Mumsy is sick of paying for another pack of Evereadys, but they're awful, from Woolies, then this is the perfect product for all you gamers on the go, with rechargeables being an expensive option. This Rejuvenator, the 4-way suspension, is a perfect way of getting more life out of those quickly draining money pits. It will recharge up to 5 of your standard We shouldn't be talking about this on the show, RGT. It sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Take 5 of your standard disposable batteries at once, and you can recharge them up to 20 times. As long as the batteries are under 1 year old. This sounds like an amazing solution to the expensive side of portable gaming. It's a thumbs up from us. It's a thumbs up from RGT. I'm erring on the side of caution and saying, be careful. Because how do you know how old the batteries were that you put in the Walkman 6 months ago? Were they already a year old or?
Well, I was just thinking, I mean, with my Game Gear, you're going through 6 batteries at a time that lasts about an hour and a half. Well, when I'm sitting in the back of the Cortina, when we're going to Chroma, it's, you need nearly all
you're being driven on a family holiday, even in 1992.
Oh, yeah, that's how I roll. And this is something I'll probably keep going till I'm an adult. So,
I'm the middle-aged man.
Yeah. But yeah, I just think it's a really cost-effective way of getting some more life out of those batteries. But like you say, what would happen if the battery is over a year old and you try and charge it for the 50th time? Do you get a small explosion, house fire, and then you're homeless?
I just think that initially this is going to feel like a great bit of kit. And I do, on the principle of it, think it sounds like a great idea. But I imagine within 6 months, it's just going to have like this well of that brown, leaked, oozed liquid. And it's probably going to end up rotting out off the back of that acidic battery juice that leaks.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be
it's
quite organised and monitor.
Breaking, isn't it? Really.
Like I say, you're probably going to have to be quite careful and monitor your battery usage, and even maybe mark them each time you've charged it, so you know.
Yeah, and I wouldn't recommend Evereadys. They're a great affordable battery. But maybe one of the reasons why you're going through batteries so much in your Game Gear is you're buying the cheaper battery. Now, I know Mums is like, listen, there are consumable items, so we might as well buy the cheapest one. You need to be getting the Duracells to maximise your time, and then this rejuvenator might make sense. If you're buying Evereadys, which are... I think the Common Garden Housefully has more electrical energy than an Eveready AA battery.
Yeah, I've been disappointed with them. I literally got halfway through the first level of Sonic and it died.
You look at them in their box, that blue rat battery, and it's almost saying, I'm seconds away from leaking, and you've not even installed me in your system. I mean, you put one of those in a remote and it's death.
Yeah.
Your dad's got the back of the remote off and he's spinning the batteries and smacking the remote off the table within an hour of the new ones going in.
Yeah, it's very true. And then, because what happens when the batteries runs out, I have to keep getting up and turning the telly over. So,
what a world. Child slave labour.
Yeah, it is. You try and do your latest Lego build and just put the ITV on with your son.
So what we're saying, keep your eyes peeled for the rejuvenator, or are we saying a UCP must buy?
I think it's a great idea. I think if you're organised with your batteries and and like you say, you've got decent batteries to start with, it might be worth purchasing some Duracells and then using them.
It's an investment, then, isn't it?
Yeah, and then see how it goes. But yeah, if anyone does have one, let us know how you get on with it, because we're very tempted. But right, we'll move on to the next part of the news, which is Master System Smash coming to the Game Gear. Outrun Europa was such a success on the Sega Master System that US Gold has managed to squeeze the title onto Sega's beloved handheld. If you haven't played Outrun Europa, it has been a rather silly story, but it's definitely worth a play. You're basically an international spy who's had his car stolen with some very important documents on the parcel shelf. So off you go to try and get them back, whilst trying to avoid attacks from the thieves who you stole your car from, and your own side, who are pretty upset with you for being so stupid in the first place. You'll blast your way through Europe, taking in such views as the White Cliffs of Dover and the Eiffel Tower, and either a stolen car, on a motorcycle, or even a jet ski. This is definitely one to look out for when it releases, especially if you're a boy racer who fancies a go at being James Bond. Coming soon from US Gold. Now this looks
so
good.
they're handling the release of this bad boy.
And always the badge of quality.
Conversion, yeah.
It's US and it's gold standard.
You're absolutely right. United States of America, wrapped in gold. There is no greater effigy of quality.
Yep.
So if you're going to call your software house something, US Gold is a banging name. Outrun Europa.
Yep.
Nice bit of fun on the Master System.
Nice twist on Outrun as well. It's almost sort of Outrun meets Spy Hunter. It's that sort of, that
as you were reading
version.
the blurb, I never realised this game had a blurb, and that's the blurb, and I love it. It's nice. It's obviously an easy port to get your Master System games onto the Game Gear. Obviously, they've also got the Game Gear adapter sitting in the wings, and you've got to wonder, is it just a form factor thing here to make the cartridge small enough to go on the go? Because, the Master System converter does affect the portability of the Game Gear quite a lot. Because I play mine as well with the screen magnifier. It ends up being quite a chunky bad boy, if I'm honest with you. Quite a girthy.
You need a rucksack just to carry it all in.
Yeah.
By the time you got your AC adapter and your light, I mean...
Don't forget your rechargeable lithium battery belt pack.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean...
There's a lot going on there.
You're looking 3-4 kilos away into that. You're going to have some guns by the time you're finished playing Outrun Europa on your Master System converter.
Well, you're going to need the aforementioned Mega Stand just to rest it on so you don't get your wrists snapped.
Plus, if you've got the TV adapter, I mean... You've got a bag full of Game Gear stuff there.
So much Game Gear stuff you don't know what to do with. So is it the portability factor? Because we are we going to lose a little bit of graphical quality to get it on the Game Gear cart? What's your thoughts? You're the regular Sega guru. What's going on here?
Yeah, I think we'll obviously lose a bit because, I mean, it's very similar power to the Master System. Obviously, we use smaller screen and sprites and whatnot. They scaled down. From what I've seen of the early screenshots, looks really good. I don't think you're missing too much from what the Master System version has. Plus, like you say, it's on the go, isn't it? And you've always been a purveyor of gaming on the go.
Is, if I'm hyped up, I've done I'm not as lucky as you. I don't work a paper round, a nice clean child labour job. I work on a chicken farm. I'm wondering, do I need to do some extra shifts at the chicken farm to get this on Game Gear, or is the Master System adapter and the Master System game good enough?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. I think the only way we'll find out is when it's released and see a side-by-side comparison.
We could do these side-by-side comparisons and send them out to people that are interested on VHS. And we could even count the frames. We could call ourselves like Analog Foundry or something like that.
Oh, that's a good name.
Yeah. Because it's 1992. I'm 12. This is how I would have talked.
Your brain's going quicker than your mouth. You're already 4 sentences ahead by the time you're trying to get everything out.
And then maybe if the world catches up with us and we can all share our ideas somewhere, just in one place, then we could take off.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant. Analog Foundry. Bear that in mind.
Can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it, to be honest.
Don't think anyone would steal it or use it for anything. So.
No, I think we're good.
But no, I think it's going to be a brilliant little racing title for the Game Gear. I love my racing games, so very looking forward to this. Always been a fan of Outrun. So, if someone says to you in the playground, what, you're playing Outrun? You can know. Playing Outrun Europa.
Is Outrun the gold standard? Because obviously in the bowl into the show, I mentioned obviously Jeff Crammond's Microprose Grand Prix. And that's obviously a fully 3D realised. There's height deformation. You go up and down. Interlagos is a great example of Monaco. You go up the hill, the circuit happens at the top, then you come down, it links up. When I show my dad these games, he looks at F1 Grand Prix and he's like, wow, that's impressive. He looks at games like Outrun, where it's basically the sprite stuck on a rotation at the front of the screen, and then the road kind of rolls beneath you with these corners that come out of nowhere. All of a sudden, the static buildings on the side of the track, they're not squares or triangles or anything like they are in F1. They're sprite realised, but they're clumsy. You're meant to be heading towards a town, but you never get there. It just stays as a silhouette on the horizon. Has my dad got a point? You say you're an F1, you say you're a racing game fan. Which camp do you sit in, and which camp do you see becoming the future, and one becoming like a dinosaur?
I think one.
And
And no, I think for your things like Outrun, that's your classic arcades. They're built for arcades. They're built to chomp coins. That's what they're for. They're good fun in short bursts. But I think, like you say, Jeff Crammond's F1 is a sim. Is as real as you can get to F1 racing. You know, everything is modelled in polygons, and although it is very square and triangular, it's more realistic than cartoon sprites and cartoon versions of cars. Equally as fun in each, but depends what floats your boat. If you want that realism and sim like, then that's got to be, you got to get yourself an Amiga or an Atari ST and play Jeff Crammond's F1. If you want just a blast in a Ferrari and blast down the road, then that's Outrun for you. But depends what floats your boat. I enjoy both, but yeah, I do love the sim side of things, which I can see becoming very popular, I think.
Only time will tell.
Yes, but yeah, so it'll be interesting to see when US Gold release that, what the version's like and how it compares to the Master System version. And they've obviously released it because of the popularity of the Master System version, but we'll see. Like you say, time will tell, see what the release is like. So, Well, okay. It's time for a peek in what we call Stingray's boot.
Who?
Stingray. Does he not come round your way?
The law. Yeah. Oh,
he looks like Pat Sharp, but
no,
he's got like real tight denims on.
No, he doesn't.
Don't he? He does to me.
Get him here and we'll have a look what he looks like.
He's got a handlebar moustache and always says a Lambert and Butler. He did have silk cut, but they weren't man enough for him.
I'm so confused. Let's get him in and we'll have a look at it.
Yeah, anyway, time for a peek at what we call Stingray's boot. What's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy of Battle for Endor. These are the new release highlights from the 29th of July to the 27th of September 92. Listeners, these are out on either cartridge, floppy disk, or even CD, or will be by the time this podcast is in your cassette player, but they might be region dependent. First up.
Looks like we've got time to launch Analog Foundry after all. He's popped out.
Mm-hmm.
Does this mean for the retro show, someone's going to have to pay Phil to edit in the Stingray car sound, or?
Are you going to charge for that, Phil? Phil, are you going to charge for the car sound? Stingray. Yeah, he's back. Yeah. Yes, he's going to charge. £4.50 in a Whisper Gold.
That's a day's wage.
I know. Can you not? No, he said it's the going rate. So
can't he charge 90s prices?
90s prices? That is 90s prices apparently for.
Jesus.
Well, yes, because he said he's got to cut and snip all the reels. So it's going to take him a day to do it. You got to snip.
I hope the audio quality's okay because you've just sat the boombox down in the corner of the room and recording on that.
Yeah. I've had to record over my Top of the Pops recording I've done, so I hope it's all right.
Which way did you just turn for Phil? Are we turning the same way or not?
Yeah.
Phil, would it be a nicer side to edit in a random snippet of a... Yeah. Depends if you've got the time or the patience. I know the feeling. Okay, so how are you? Are we seeing Ray just as Pat Sharp in this moment?
Well, I see him as Pat Sharp. I don't know how you see him, but
I'll be honest, I see him as Noel Edmonds.
Dad's annoyed because he just handbraked the Bluebird in the drive and the gravels hit the greenhouse, so it's not...
Did he put a pane through, or...?
No, it's just it's only pebble dash, so it's just sort of sprayed off.
Down.
Yeah, that's all right, Dad, don't worry.
Do I get first? I want second dibs, by the way, so you take first dibs.
Well, what we got here? Oh, first up, 29th of July, Echo the Dolphin for the Sega MagiDrive. Ooh. Players echo the bottlenose dolphin as you try and save your fellow marine life and possibly the whole ocean from exploration to aliens and even time travel. Yep, you heard that right, a time-travelling dolphin. Out next month on the Sega MagiDrive. Well, I have heard rumours about this, but A time traveling dolphin. This sounds a bit of a trip.
This is going to be a big game.
I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I mean, I've never really heard had anything like this before. Playing as a dolphin, that's strange. I mean, that's going to be.
Well, get ready for this, right? Because this is insane. This next release. Now, breaking the fourth wall. I got this at launch, and I played it all on my own for months. I loved it. It's 27th of August. Comes out Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo. Now, I know what you're thinking. Mario kart racing. I think this is going to be fantastic.
Sounds like a flop to me.
It's a massive flop. Something you never thought you'd see next is a kart racing game. Now, some young lad who has aspirations, bizarrely, of being a Formula One driver while playing Jeff Crammond's F1 Grand Prix knows in some way he needs to get his eye in on karts to make him good at. So, obviously, he bought Super Mario Kart.
Is this true story or?
It's a true story.
Yeah.
It's the way you think in the 90s. With various different single-player and multiplayer modes, can you prove you're the next Nigel Mansell and become the Super Mario Kart champion? I've heard on the grapevine, because I'm connected, that they've got Rick Mail in to do some Super Mario ads. And he actually is going to pretend to be Nigel Mansell to get this. Or is he pretending to be Nigel Mansell to sell Nigel Mansell's racing game? Community corrections, let me know. In the school playground.
You'll have to send out, we'll put the address at the end because you have to send that by post. So, and we'll try and get back to you on fax if you have one. So,
yeah. It's all done on fax.
It sounds weird to me. Super Mario in a cart. Where's this come from? I mean,
you're not Japanese like they're crazy.
And the thing is, it sounds a bit desperate and it ain't going to last. I mean, who's going to buy this?
I think in the kind of with Sonic just dominating everywhere in Europe at the minute, this just screams desperation. They haven't got another Mario game to push out, so they're going to squeeze this out. It's a bit of a Mode 7 tech demo. I don't imagine really anyone's going to be... we talked earlier about Outrun. Proper big boy racing games, the arcade racing games that people want to play, they're those into-the-screen ones. This one looks a little bit like a crossover between Outrun and F1 because they've somehow got the screen there and you've got the circuit already laid out and you kind of drive around it. I don't know.
I mean, maybe the multiplayer mode would be good for a few minutes, but...
There's no way that's going to replace Bomberman in your rotation. Not a chance.
No. To me, reeks of a flop.
Yeah, well, like I say, I'm probably going to try and buy up some birthday money.
You have to let me know you get on.
What's next?
1st of September... Now, this interests me, this one. Championship Manager, Amiga, Atari ST. Have you ever fancied being a football manager, taking your team to the top of or conquering Europe? Well, here's your opportunity with Domark's Championship Manager with all 4 English divisions, the domestic cups and 3 European cups. Now's the chance to become the best team around.
I'll be honest, mate. I know you said you're excited for this, but I don't understand this. When you're playing as a striker or defender or whatever in the game, you normally play as everybody on the team. What do you do as the manager? Just like waggle a button until he shouts at sideline and then serve like good oranges at half time? I don't understand what's the point of this.
Well, the thing
Who
I
wants
like
to be a football manager? They're just normally boring guys in tracksuits who shout a lot.
Yeah, but the thing is with this is it's if you like the tech side of it, if you like the crunching the numbers, like bringing players through. I mean, from what I've seen of screenshots, you have youth teams, you can bring young players through. You have to sort the contracts out. To me, this starting in like the
what are the graphics
division.
like? Have they got all the players so you see them when you're talking to them? What are the graphics of this game?
No, it's more sort of spreadsheet based. It's still colourful, not as boring as a spreadsheet, but it's more.
No one's going to buy this.
Well, I think it's something different. I think it's going to be good. Various manager games. Kevin Tom's done a great one on the Spectrum, which was really good, but it lacked the depth because of the power of the Spectrum. But I think with the pure process and power of the Amiga and the Atari ST at the minute, you can get so much more depth in there. I think this game's going to make them smoke.
Wow.
So I think that the depth to start your season, just go through the years, try and work your way up the English divisions. I mean, imagine winning the FA Cup when you started out in the fourth division.
But do you see the players scoring the goals?
No.
Who wants this?
How dare you? You'll have the match on, and that will flash up when the goals are scored, apparently, and then that will just tell you you're running.
Hang on a minute. So you're telling me people are going to go mad for a game that feels like bamboozle on teletext? Now, I love a bit of bamboozle, but this is going to flop.
You think?
It just sounds a bit boring.
No, but you're not really into your football.
This is better
I
than
love my
kickoff.
football. Yeah, but this is the more in-depth side. If you kick off, you're the player. In this, you're the manager. You control. You control what goes on. You control who you play. You control what the player, not so much what the players do, but you sort your team formations out. Try and get your club to rise up the leagues. I'm all about this. Get me a can of Tizer, packet of Monster Munch, sit me in front of my Amiga, and I'm there for days.
Not beef. They make your breath smell disgusting.
Pickled onion.
Oh, I was going to say that's good. I like that smell on you. It's fresh. When you come at me with the beef, I'll be honest, it's like you've been eating cat food.
Yeah, I admit that. And
when you had them on the bus on the bus to school the other morning, I'll be honest with you, it was gross.
Well, it's because I added them into my spam sandwich, so the combination was. It was to me it was a meaty treat, but to you, it was obviously smelt of.
It looked more like
Felix.
the sort of thing Dad would throw in the river and call it ground bait.
Yeah, it was similar. But to me,
it smelt worse than ground bait.
I like the jellied meat with the crunch of the crisp. So to me, it's a treat. But to you, obviously, it's cat food. But
yeah, as an outsider looking in, it was pretty grim.
Yeah, but then I rinsed my mouth from a Capri Sun, and you said it was okay. So
no, I didn't say it was okay. I said it was better.
Okay, yes, because I still had a bit of spam in between my front teeth.
Yeah,
great.
Until fourth lesson as well.
Yeah, but yeah, gave me something to nibble on later on. But yeah, back to Championship Manager. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I know it's not your cup of tea, but for me, I'm all over this. I can't wait to play it, and I'm hoping if it does well, then maybe they'll do sequels. You don't know, but we'll see. I think you think it's going to be a bit of a flop, don't you?
I just don't think that many people are going to want to play it. It sounds a bit boring. There's no graphics of the players. You never see anyone scoring a goal. You never serve one half-time orange. To me, it doesn't sound very realistic at all.
No, well, maybe, when the tech gets better and we maybe get a new Amiga or new Atari, there's rumours of a 1200 Amiga and a Falcon Atari. I mean, maybe the power, then you could have the graphics and the tech behind it. But I just think at the moment it's one or the other because it's so in-depth how much code is in that game with how deep it goes. I think it's hard to run the graphics as well at the same time.
So then they serve you up a Spectrum game and hope that they can get by. It's
not a Spectrum game. Anyway, I'm not talking to you about this anymore. This is actually going to be my mummy.
Okay, well, I'm going with the second flop of the month, Mario Kart. I'm just intrigued to see how that'll play out. And obviously, I'm an aspiring F1 driver, so...
that's what you mean. You might actually win the championship in your first go, and someone might hear about this before you know it. Mansell's on your doorstep. Do you want to come and join me?
Frank Williams has rolled up the drive. He's probably got Patrick Head to knock on the door. They've come out. We've heard the rumours. I'm like, okay, bloody hell, I didn't expect you guys to turn up. So no, we can't let someone like you just slip by. So we want to sign you up. You're going to be Nigel's teammate next week. In my head, that's how this is playing out.
No, they just might say, look, we heard a rumour you done a 51 second on Rainbow Road. We need you, son.
I don't think that's ever going to happen for me. I do a podcast on an audio tape because I'm not very good at video games. And no one's going to find this tape. Lost media, baby.
Yeah, definitely.
Before Ray leaves, we need to pick a VHS. Thought I'd throw it out there. Now you're going to struggle.
Well, let me think.
Does that mean...
Let me think.
The danger of this flashback show is the danger it could cause to the law that's yet to happen in a podcast that me and cousin Tom start recording in 30 years' time. more.
You and your cousin Tom are going to start a podcast?
I know he only looks like a little kid to you, but he's got some good ideas.
Is he? He's got a massive quiff.
No, he's not. He's only young. He doesn't know a lot about gaming.
Yeah, I know, but that's obviously needs filling.
He's got potential.
Needs filling with gaming knowledge. Right, VHS. I am going to go for Willow.
Ooh.
Just saw that at the back in the boot there. I'll have that, please, Ray. Thank you.
Well, Ray's known to get pirates, so...
Oh, hang on. Dad needs a chat. Am I on about Dad? Is he... Oh, Dad said something about, has he got any blue or something? I don't know what he's on about. Blue what? Blue tapes? I don't know what he's on about. But anyway, yeah, pick yours for Dad as a chat with Ray.
Ray has given me a tape for Dad, and it just says breaking all the rules. And on the front cover is some cheerleaders.
What are the X's on there for? I don't know.
Don't ask any questions, but to be honest with you...
Oh, don't send off the mumsy. Okay.
This is a real thing, and people should find somewhere to check it out. I might take that. No, I'm too young. What am I going to take? I'm going to try and get myself over the fear of it, because it's very gory and it's a little bit intimidating to me. I'm going to have a slice. I'm going to rate. I want RoboCop.
Oh, are you allowed to have that?
Well, only if you don't tell Mumsy. We're all good.
Do a deal with Dad. We won't say about the cheerleader one. You don't say about RoboCop, Dad. Done.
And with that, Ray has disappeared. All I saw is a wisp of smoke.
I just saw a pebble-dashed greenhouse.
Him and Trace are trying for a kid.
Are they?
Mm.
Oh, that'd be nice.
We're going to name it after the greengrocer, Wayne.
Yeah. Why are they named after greengrocer?
Don't know. Wayne Veg, apparently.
Anywho.
He's just an inspirational cat round the village, as you know. So
yeah,
I thought they liked the sound the name of Wayne.
Ooh, right.
Yeah, Wayne Veg.
Wayne Veg. For Wayne. There we go. For Wayne. Anyway, we'll jump onto our subs list now.
Yeah, so obviously we've managed to collect up a group of pen pals.
Yeah.
And they send us money and sometimes like little Calippo drinks, the plastic drinks with the foil lid on that you smash through. Yeah. I mean, one of them even sent me a Shandy Bass. So
nice. Can I just say, Carlos, can you sellotape the 10p's in because they keep rattling and falling out the envelope? So, we only had £42.50, 42 pence. Sorry, 42.5 pence last week. So, yeah, we lost a few pence. So, sellotape them in.
Later tonight, I'm going to drink that can of Shandy Bass that Bo Below sent as quick as possible. And I'm going to be off. I'm going to be drunk.
Careful, because that's got like 0.02% alcohol in there.
Yeah, well, if I had 2 cans, don't come near me. I'll punch you.
Oh my God, careful you aren't sick.
I won't be sick. I'm a real man. That's why I'm drinking Shandy Bass.
Last time I was sick, I shotgunned a can of cream soda.
I'm glad it's 1992 because if this was me in the future on some sort of future podcast thing or whatever they call it, I think I'd have wanted to interrogate you about doubling up on a cream soda.
Yeah, and that was the big can as well.
And then the aftermath of what that might look like.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Let's say, first of all, thank you to everyone that supports us. We're hoping that if this pilot has done well and you've enjoyed it, it will form part of the rotation. The good news is you won't need to change your subs or anything like that. You're still going to get it. It's part of everything. So we're very appreciative for you helping. We won't interest just the tiers nor talk about them here for the sake of doing our best to make this as historically accurate as possible. So we'll kick off. I'll start with I get the wonderful all the way from... Now, we must have found him when me and Mum and Dad Mumsy and Dadsy went on a skiing holiday to Sweden because that's where Seanox is from. So we must have shared on the cross-channel ferry. Maybe me and him shared a go on his Game Gear or Game Boy. I don't know. But thank you to Seanox. Who's next?
We have the one-man George fan club, Carlos. I think we met at Boy Scouts. I think we had a camp somewhere down Essex way, so we met and became pen pals. So
you had a camp. What did he make of that?
Yeah.
Carlos, was he all right with it?
Yeah, loved it. Loved it. So thank you very much, Carlos.
Okay. Well, this next guy, he goes to school with us. He earned his nickname because he was once working on the BBC Micro, and he smashed it that hard that the key, the enter key, the return key got really hard. So we call him Firm Returns.
Yeah, brilliant name that. Brilliant
name.
He was
funny.
He was so good on the BBC Micro as well. He's brilliant, isn't he?
He is. And he knows his way around Granny's garden better than anyone.
Yeah.
I want to take this next one, if I may, because there's a little village outside near Coningsby in Lincolnshire on the outskirts of Farmerton called New York. And there's an engineering
Not
firm
the place
there.
in America.
Well, there's an engineering firm there that make trestles for KMA Engineering, so they can build the mega stands on them. Yes, that's Trestles of New York, Lincolnshire.
Oh, maybe, you never know. They might send us a free mega stand.
I think you're probably going to end up getting a 3-tier veg rack, but who's next?
Next up, we have the wonderful Bada Binkster. Met him on the school trip to Italy. Lovely lad. Yeah, brilliant. So, yeah, thank you very much for your support as always.
He's beautiful, isn't he? Now, this guy, I met him outside Electronics Boutique in Lincoln. Dante took me into the Big Smoke to grab myself a new game. And he was kind of hanging outside, one of the cool kids. In 1992, I don't think I owned a baseball cap. I don't know what this is. Let's pretend it's not. And he had one on backwards. He had a Game Boy hanging out his back pocket. He looked like a walking advert for Super Nintendo magazine for a Game Boy.
No way.
He did.
He sounds so cool.
He is cooler than cool.
Oh, man. I want to be friends with him.
He's the sort of guy that makes Chesney Hawk look uncool.
I didn't know that was possible.
Oh,
he's the one and only.
I am the one and only.
Edit that, Phil. Copyright. He'll be after us. He needs every penny, that boy.
Only if someone plays this tape to Chesney.
Yeah.
Not going to happen.
Next up, I met this guy outside an old Bits and Bytes computer shop in Norwich, Digital Monkery. Yeah, real connoisseur of the Mega Drive. I reckon one day he's going to have everything Mega Drive. He just seems that sort of guy. You know, he's really into the system. So in the future, he's going to have a full collection, if that's ever possible. But thank you, Digital Monkery.
Well, Gaming Graham joined the pen pal. We met him at school. Me and him sat next to each other. We don't normally. And so I didn't really know him up until this point. And Mrs.
Was he the guy that always had the peanut butter and jam sandwiches?
I never sat with him at dinner, so I don't know.
Okay.
But we were in French. Mrs. Dobie, she's quite hot, although she's got hairy armpits, bent over. And Gaming Graham says he saw a nipple. I argued with him quite loudly. She couldn't decide what we were arguing about, and obviously we couldn't say, so we both ended up on detention. But while we were on detention, we talked about possibly what he saw, which is obviously quite interesting to us. But then we also talked about our video game passion.
Oh,
and that's
cool.
why he's here.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you very much, Gaming Graham. Next up, we have Bald Border. Now, this guy is a few years older than me in school. You know, the one, he just tells the teachers whatever. They don't care. Next minute, he's skateboarding past the window. Tricks, he does board slides, everything. He's like that. Who's that new guy in America who's really good at skating? What's his name? Tony Hawk, is it? Someone like that? Tony Hawk?
I don't know if everyone... I don't know. I don't know who he is.
He's only a young kid. He's in that...
Who's the guy? No.
He's in that Bones Brigade. He's in that. All them skateboarders.
No, he's more like California Games.
Yeah. Well, if you think California Games, that's what Bald Border's like. You know, teacher saying, get in this classroom. And he's doing a kickflip past the window.
Get over here.
Giving them the bird. Yeah, got a can of iron brew, proper hard. Yeah, but thanks, Bald Border. I look up to him, so that's awesome.
Okay, well, this next guy, he's an elite special forces guy. He's just got back from Desert Storm.
No.
He is, right? He is Andy McNabb's best mate.
He don't have them like infrared glasses sort of
No,
things.
he
You
doesn't
look
need
in the
anything like
dark.
that. He just eats carrots.
No, right. He must eat a lot of carrots then.
He basically downloads them in every orifice he can so he can see as much as he can.
What
Going
an image.
orange.
Going orange. What an image. Anyway, sorry, Boba, but thank you. Next up.
But can I just say, by the way, jumping off the retro thing, his Insta stories have picked up, like, he keeps having, like, the hottest, freshest drip. I saw him in a VHS and a Gremlins t-shirt this morning. I was like, wow. I even
I
said to
know,
him,
he's
you're too
got
cool
some.
now.
He is too cool for us. I messaged him and just said, them t-shirts are awesome, mate. I mean,
He's
seriously.
going all these toy cons, all that, you know. I aspire to be his left toenail.
You probably set your inspirations a bit high there, but
Fine. What's lower than that?
Right, next up we have.
It was clean as well. Oh, he's a ground scraper from up there, so that's lower than that. Jesus wheeze! No wonder he's a hit with the ladies. Right, who's next?
We've got the wonderful Ginge. I can't say the usual line we say because that puts the whole show out of kilter. But
No, he's my red-headed stepbrother.
I see what you've done there.
He's the kind of guy I want to hate. Like, you know, he's come into the family. He's given it all the big I am. He's a bit younger than me, so he cries all the time, gets what he wants.
But he's harder than you.
He's so strong. He's got that feral kid in him. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't, you know, he wins. You win the fight fairly, and then he gets up and comes at you. He's like a feral dog.
Yeah.
You know, you put him down. You're like, that's the end of it now, mate. And everyone's like, yeah, woo. And then he gets up. He just doesn't know when to stop the fight.
The other day, he said a swear word at Deb's Babs. She come after him, and he pushed her off her bike. And I mean, I didn't think she was ever movable off that bike, and he actually pushed her straight off the bike. And I just thought, that kid's got some strength.
Thing is, you say that about Deb's Babs, but like right now, she's obviously older than us. She's 21. She's running that thing. I actually think she's quite pretty.
Yeah, I suppose so. But
she's the sort of person in like 10 years' time you're going to still be sniffing around.
Maybe. I don't know. Seems to have a big queue of gentlemen there, and none of them seem to be getting burgers, so I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, you'll be queuing for a hot dog like the rest of them.
Anywho, who we got next?
I don't know. Harvey Retro. Fine kid. He
has a MagiDrive stand.
He has, and I met him outside of Village Video in the local village, and he came out clutching like Freddy and all those scary things, and
no way.
I was a bit intimidated by it because I saw like 10 minutes of Freddy and I couldn't sleep for a week, and he's walking around like with all of them, and he's renting them, and he's cool as well. He's got long hair as well, so he looks like
he looks like one of the Lost Boys.
Yeah. And he's got long hair and he's like scary, like a bigger boy, like he's in Guns N' Roses or something. He
looks well cool. I love them high tech basketball boots he wears. They're cool.
Sometimes as well, he even puts his hair in a ponytail and he looks really cool.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to grow my hair long, Mum said.
Mumsy said, I asked for a wedge, and she said no. So then I had a short back and sides, which is ultimately the same haircut, but not quite as aggressive, and it was embarrassing.
I've just got a pudding basin that I try and use my dad's gel on, but I end up looking like Robert Smith.
My wedge was about half a centimetre up the back of my head, and I just looked like a lesbian. And everyone at school said so. So it's not unfair to say that.
Next up, we've got...
# true story. School was harsh in the 90s.
It was very harsh. There's a lot of stories I can't say on here. Next up...
Start.
No. Next up, we have the wonderful Emma Sharp. She's...
she's going to start travelling the world. She's going to start taking our tapes. You know.
She's aiming to when she leaves school at the moment. But yeah,
what do you think she's going to do when she's older?
I don't know.
She's good at her lessons and everything.
Yeah, I think she'll be a journalist or something like that.
Oh yeah, I imagine. No, I can see that.
Because
she's got a pork pie on. Does she need to wear meat product as a hat? I don't know. But she's
Well,
got the word press written on it.
Last week, I gave her my Highland toffee off my Beano and a wham bar, and she done my maths homework. And I got an A for that. So she's clever. She is clever.
I honestly didn't know where this was going. And I was so relieved when you said maths homework that I don't think I knew what to do with myself.
Right, who's next?
Emma Sharp. I'll tell you who's next. Okay, this kid, he's a whiz on the 486 in the IT computer room.
Is he the Doom champion?
He's the Doom champion.
He's always in there in playtime.
Yeah.
Oh, I know you mean.
No. He's not Doom champion. He ain't got access to that yet. He's the Wolfenstein champion. And that's why his nickname in the playground. Because everyone would think that you need to be living in Germany to be good at Wolfenstein. But that's why his nickname in the playground is nowhere near Berlin.
Oh, that's why. Wolfenstein champ. Damn. Yeah, he's good. He asked me if I wanted to play some of these FPS or something they're called, but
I don't think he knows that they're called that.
Yeah, but I do. But yeah, no, I can't play them. Make me feel sick. Then next up we have Mumsy, as always. Thanks, Mumsy. I got £1 last week for doing washing up for a week. £1 note. So
I've got get a note.
I did.
Well, that's not much use to you then, Sunbeam. So
yeah.
knock yourself out. I could see
Mumsy hadn't told me that. Yeah. Oh.
Next.
There goes my pick and mix.
There's a group of 3 girls that walk around the school, and they
all got braces.
No, Lucy ain't got them anymore.
Don't she?
No.
Oh. Jesus, they look like Stonehenge.
She's your girlfriend, pal, so, hopefully she don't get a copy of this tape. As soon as she pays £4.50 for this tape, she's getting the tape. So you better tell her that you love her.
Sorry, Lucy. Love you.
Was it Lucy?
I think so. If not, that sounds really weird saying that.
But anyway, they'll follow you around, break time and all that, because I think you're a celebrity because you've got a tape.
Mm-hmm.
And they call themselves the RGT fan club. Lucy, there's Lucy S, and Lucy T.
Yeah, well, they also said if, right, because they're only getting into game and not very good.
Hang on.
Well, hold on. Hang on. No, wait.
No, stop.
No, I'm not stopping.
Put your brakes on and admit the fact that if you are called RGT at school, damn near really can't stand for retro gamer, can it? So what does it stand for?
Well, because they're getting into like spectrums and stuff. And they're a few years old now, and they're asking if there's anything like retro to play. And I say, I've got all the gear. I've got the C64 set. Got the VIC-20.
I thought it was because you argued that sports shouldn't be sexualised, and therefore you wanted to be on the netball team, and you were rearguard Thomas, and that's why they were your fan club, because you were the best rearguard they've ever had.
Anyway, they said to me, as we're new to gaming, can you recommend any old games for us we should get into to get up to a speed where you are? And I said, well, I could maybe do that. She said, well, maybe you get like something like, call it a hidden gem or something, and we'll write a little theme song for you. So apparently that's what they're going to be doing. So you'll have to listen out for that. As long as they don't go and copy like a TV show or something, that'd be ridiculous. But yeah. So who we got next? We have.
I want the netball thing to grip in. I feel it's a safer bet.
You want it to grip in?
Yeah. Up next, the guy who outside the Brearley building threw a brick at me without even breaking sweat. It's Pete Brocklehurst. And
I see what you've done there. You just jumped the queue and said 2 on the trot, because then I know what that ends up with I'm getting. So next up...
I didn't mean to do... I'd lost track because we both talked during your fan club era.
No, that's all right. No, that's all right. I'll carry on. Next up, we have our mate, Billy. And because of his love of Twiglets...
My mate, Billy Marmite.
Yeah. Billy Marmite. Thank you, Billy. I don't have a lot of money, but it's good you give us a bit of your pocket change. So
yeah, because he's the poorest guy at school, and the fact that he's on this list is incredible.
Yeah.
And if you think you ain't got enough money to send us £3, and that's not 1992 money, that's now money, and it's $3, so it's damn near tuppence halfpenny. Please send us some money.
Tuppence halfpenny.
That's a term. Which means I get the immortal. Now he's big into Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh yes, he is.
He loves a bit of it.
Quite often, you just see him walking down to the spa dressed as a wizard.
Ooh.
Come on,
next?
controlled. Oh, do I still have to do this? This seems wrong in 1992.
Well, who's he named himself after in 1992? That's the question.
He's named himself after that smash hit from 1991. Street Fighter 2.
Oh, wow. He's cutting edge, this guy.
So I'm going to say this normally, but now I know I'm contractually obliged to.
No, you're contractually obliged to.
No, you just want me to do it.
You made yourself contractually obliged.
I did not make myself. I
Just
believe.
do a 1992 version.
Okay.
You've watched Chamomile Lawn on quiet in your bedroom through your fingers.
No, I've watched Bad Influence.
Oh. Thing is, Bad Influence is on like 4:30 in the afternoon.
Yeah, but they had an Amiga CD TV on there, and
if that's the road you want to go down, you go down it.
So, just gonna have to say thank you very much to Hatsungi.
Wow, it sounded like you first.
Yeah.
Thank you to everyone.
Technically was, but yeah.
That's canon. That's canon. That's canon now. It's canon. We can do so much retrospective recanonization of the storyline with this flashback show. I love it. Okay, that's great.
I feel there's going to be, if this continues and people like this, there's going to be some very deep lore coming out of this.
I'm still waiting on someone taking the effort to write the lore Bible.
Oh, yeah, but that's all over the show.
It's all over every show. They're going to have to listen to every show. And right now, I need the downloads. So someone...
Yeah, download the back catalogue, please.
Start better back... Yes, come do something. Anyway, thank you to everyone that subscribes. Thank you to everyone that doesn't. We call you the cheap seats. We don't mean it as an insult, but the show will always be free. It remains so. And we're hoping, as you can see, we're hoping in the year of 2025 to broaden and deepen the content that we give you. If you saw the artwork reveal on YouTube, you would have seen possibly some hints towards this coming down the line on the desktop. Maybe there's some hints at other things that are coming down the line. If you go and have another look at that episode, or if you've only heard the audio version, go check the video version. With all that said and done, we'll discuss the tiers next week on the normal show, but now's a great time to get involved because we've got the new artwork coming out. So I implore everyone to go check Instagram, have a look at the artwork, have a look at on Twitter, Blue Sky, wherever you go, have a look at the artwork.
Just to say to everyone, they're being sent this week. So I have started contacting people. So if you haven't been contacted, don't worry. I will be getting your.
But as a new joiner for £5, they get the full. They could get a full suite, get a lot of perks, and get some art on a postcard.
Yeah, get it on a fridge magnet. So, and I'll chuck in one of our special limited edition postcards as well.
Okay, so the fridge magnet I call a postcard from the Wooden Postcard Company, but it's a fridge magnet, but it's got the artwork on it, so you get to keep it forever. Yeah, this will be very collectible. Sounds like QVC. Once we move to the next season, we might have to start blocking off this stuff. This could become very, very collectible.
So, like the original two. Fridge magnets we done there's no stock of those anymore, so if you got them, you got them. So whoever's had those, that's the only ones there is available of those. It's the same with these. So these will be, once they're gone, they're gone. We've had one.
So if you're listening and want to get on board, you can start from now, but you're going to have to sweet talk out the hands of some of the older listeners. If you want the full set, you're going to have to start talking to them very kindly to get yourself the first two postcards. So this is how it starts. Don't say we didn't warn you. If you get on board at season 6, it's not so bad. you need to probably hurry up and get on board.
Hmm.
RGT,
Yes.
what's next? I guess I need to ask you what you're hoping to play for this gaming week.
Yes. Well, I'm still trying to complete Sonic, so I will be putting some more time into that. I need to get that done, because a few of the guys at school have already done it, and, they keep taking the
Why
mickey
didn't
out
you
of me.
tell me that this made me look like Jabba the Hutt?
Doesn't.
Let me reach into my thing and grab out a squid.
Now you do.
I look more like Syl. La 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 la. There's a deep cut.
Anyway, I'm going to try and complete something. Get that done. I'm going to play more Streets of Rage because, I'd like to try and get through that. Try and do an old one life job on that. That'd be good as we're getting better at it. And also, I need to try and perfect skateboarding on California games. Hacky sack done. Surfer done. Skateboarding and also probably BMXing I'm not very good at, so I really want to get them done. But that's probably what I'll be playing, depending on what I'll be allowed to play, as long as I do my chores. What about you, George? What are you hoping to play?
I'm going to be having a go at off the back of playing some Jeff Crammonds. I did actually pull out Stunt Car Racer. It's obviously totally different. There's
what a
things in there
game.
that are similar. So he obviously did his Stunt Car Racer game. I got that on Pirate from Stephen Pratt in the Playground.
What, are you playing that on your Atari?
The Atari ST.
Yeah, I had it on my Spectrum, but I played the Amiga version, and God, graphics. I mean, how can they get better than that? It's just so realistic.
They're knocking on the door of F1 Grand Prix, right?
Yeah.
And it's an older game.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'd actually got my mum's old Honda Melody crash hat and sat and wore it while I played Stunt Car Racer, just to give it that realistic vibe.
Well, don't, because this is... I'm not confessing to this. Not again.
Wow.
The circuits, though, and the slimness of them do actually make it quite difficult, I found.
Can be, yeah. You have to know the speed and for the jumps, but also for the corners. And also you crack your chassis, so you have to be careful where you don't bottom out and keep cracking your chassis. Yeah, so it's quite technical.
And I'm also playing, I don't know if this is new out or old, but I'm also playing on the Atari ST, Supercars 2.
I haven't played that. What's it like?
So I'm hoping to play, it's top down, obviously. It's a bit like Iron Hoffman or something like that. It's top down, super fast. It's like controlling a remote control car, though. Because you top down, you need to be thinking on the bonnet of the car all the time about which way's left and which way's right. But you get weapons on the car. So when you were talking earlier about Outrun Europa and feeling like Bond,
like Spy Hunter and that.
Yeah, I feel a bit like Bond, but you're obviously racing, I think, 5 other cars. So yeah, Supercars 2 is great. I've really enjoyed it, and if Terry comes round, we're either going to play some F1 Grand Prix, or we've been playing the that No Second Prize game, the motorbike 3D. We're beginning to have 3D at the minute.
Yeah, well, that's the future, mate. It's the future.
He's threatening to pick up Stunt Car Race FX with an adapter pack for the SNES.
That is, that's the business. Can he afford that? Or?
Breaking the fourth wall a little bit. Yeah, he can afford it. But to think that we all got round and went ooh and ah at the SNES, performing some 3D rendered graphics on a screen that it was generating on your telly that was no bigger than a postage stamp. And I shunned things like the Atari ST that had 22 cars running around a track simultaneously with a 3D area to flock to the SNES, because in my mind it was technically superior.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And cartridges must be cool.
Yeah. We were quite fickle in those days, weren't we?
Very fickle.
Yeah. But, you got some gaming ahead with Tell then.
Yeah, Tessa. Yeah, he's a good gaming companion. He's a good friend. And wherever he ends up in the future, I wish him the very best.
Bless him.
Bless him.
Well, I
One
think
day he's
that
going to hear these odes to himself. He's going to stumble across them. He's going to be like Rory. Probably not going to be Rory. Like, what an idiot! I don't even care for him.
why am I on here?
Why am I on here? I never gave him my permission. I'm suing him. Oh,
Yeah.
Terry, please.
No, tell, please. Tell.
Yeah. Right.
Anyway, what we'll say is I hope you like this pilot. For you people in the Discord, give us a bit of feedback. Let us know what you think. If you
Yeah,
enjoyed
please.
the show.
And if you've never messaged him before and you've heard this and think, actually, I like the idea of them broadening it, I like the idea of this, reach out on the email. Reach out on any form of social media or the email, questions@unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com. Let us know your feedback because we want to steer this in this direction. But equally so, we want to make sure it's something that you guys can enjoy, guys and girls can enjoy, and can get behind. So
yeah, give us,
please.
If you think, the law's a bit too much and you want a bit more factual about the times, let us know. If you like the law and think there isn't enough and want us to play along with it, let us know. Either way, that everything's constructive. Just let us know what you think, what you prefer, and we'll try and tailor it to what,
and this is a pilot.
between.
This is our first stab before we launch into episode 1, series 1 of Flashback. And also some feedback on the name. Let us know.
Yeah, see what you think, and like I say, any feedback is brilliant for us, and we can sort of tailor it around that and see what you think. Even if there's something you turn around and say, well, it's not really for me, didn't really like that, prefer this side of the other shows. Let us know what you like, so we can then perfect the other shows as well. But just let us know what you think. It just leaves us one more thing to say, which is thanks everyone. And there's nothing wrong with being given the unofficial controller. It's what you do with it that counts. See you later, George.
See you later, RGT.